Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. This is the Motherbunker Files, and we are live-ish, coming at you from my mother's basement. Here with us now is Dr. Deep Blue Thought to join us on our quest for the truth and the truth heresies. So, let's just kick it off right now. We're gonna go to our fishbowl of truth heresies. Don't worry, guys.
Truth heresies.
Truth heresies. Just trying to beat that algorithm a little bit. I do make my videos a little bit hard to find, so I can't blame it all on YouTube. But yeah, if you say the C word, then you're definitely getting looked at through a microscope there. So the one person I know that has followed QAnon for a long time, we drew QAnon 2 episodes ago, and I was like, oh shit, gotta get Dr. Deep Blue on here. Fill us in. I said I said that I do believe that he's a bit of a psyop. Yeah, I know, blasphemy. Blasphemy.
It has almost become blasphemy. Even QAnon, whose whole tagline, which I love, by the way, which is where we go one, we go all.
That is very important.
Love it.
Yeah.
So that thing alone, to me, is so inspirational. Just that one thing alone. And yet, Q has ended up dividing so many people.
It's divided the conspiracy community. Oh shit, I said the C word.
We gotta disappear. Sorry, goodbye.
Bye.
I'm disappearing. Help, I'm melting. Yeah, I know.
Divided the truthery community. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, and
some of his stuff is good. Some of his stuff I've
learned so much through those Q drops.
Yeah.
And
but
a lot of those things have come true, and so as one thing keeps coming true after another, and there's all these proofs and that you can stitch together over time, and as time goes by, it just gets more and more proof of even things that may seem unbelievable the first time round.
Yeah.
Right? So now, there's been some major disappointments along the way. And one of the QAnon sort of drops that comes up on a regular basis is this information is necessary. Even for the followers, even for the believers, even for the ones who are 100% behind Q, blah, blah, blah. And even for very high generals and very high, people, because at the same time as putting all these little truthful drops in for the public to hear about at a level that has never been dropped to the public in human history.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, if this whole Q phenomenon is true, right? We've been told that it's insider information at such a level that has never been dropped to the general public, really, in the history of humanity, from inside of the military and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That level of secret operations going on and how the world is really run, which is so phenomenally different from how it's presented to us that you couldn't even write this as a freaking science fiction novel in reality.
Yeah.
With this much twists and turns and unbelievable things going on. But apparently that's what's happening in the real world, according to Q and the world of Q and the drops that have been put down over time. And if we go into some of these topics, they're so horrifically weird and so off normal topics that if you regularly talk about this kind of stuff to regular friends and people at work, you're very quickly going to be labeled like a nut job or a conspiracy theory nut job. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
You'll get laughed out of the room.
You really do.
Yeah.
You really do.
And you have to be tactful. I believe I covered talking about the truthery in my last episode, not the one before this, but the one before that, number 5, cryptic, about there is a certain amount of tact that you have to have when coming
Definitely.
to lift their veil just a little bit, and say, hey, something's going on.
I suffer from lack of tact. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
It's been a problem for me. And you can lose friends and colleagues, and you can really have some
Family
massive
members.
arguments. Mad family members.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation to be in, because you know that what the government is doing cannot be there's so much twist to it. Like, it's 3 layers deep. You know,
divisions within the,
and the things that the mainstream media news is giving you, and the things that the anti-mainstream media news is giving you, and people will scoff at the mainstream media news, even though sometimes they're absolutely right. They are giving you first-hand experience of what is going on in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely.
And
they'll
nothing
just be
on
like,
regular
oh,
TV.
It's not CNN, it's not Fox News. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I'm like, did you watch the video? Did you watch him, like, filming everyone getting gassed and hit with rubber bullets?
Oh, man.
Oh, no. No, of course he did.
Oh, my God. This video of, like, there's worse going on. People are dying.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people, like, loot.
I've seen people actually just shot by sniper fire at night. Sniper coming from cops.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
where else is
wearing yellow coats. Just standing there protesting, just like another human being might be protesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unbelievable living conditions.
Yeah.
Unlivable living conditions.
Yeah, you can't. How much is? Do you know how much their gas tax is?
Yeah, so there's this gas tax thing.
30,
you know what?
30%.
You know what? That's a bad part of their life. That is nothing compared to other things that are going on. And the thing is this. Here's the thing. They have been watching Q drops from Europe. They have been watching Q drops from the Middle East. They have been watching, because there are people putting signs up about QAnon.
Yeah.
You know, in the middle of crazy stuff in Egypt, whatever, out in public. So they have been watching what has been going on here, and they have been watching some of the very deep revelations that have been coming out through the Q drops about horrific things that are being done throughout the world, but America just being like a really prime example of it, because, you know, the dominant country in the world is also, unfortunately, the prime target in the world.
Recently, one of the YouTubers I've watched has come out and said that he was having a conversation, I believe, with Warren Buffett. Wow. And this was when the country debt was at $4 trillion. And he asked the question, he's like, how is the country going to pay off this this debt? And Warren Buffett responds with one word. He says, inflation, in his grovelly voice. And, like, went on to the next question.
Inflation.
Wow. So,
which just means more debt.
More debt.
More imprisonment.
It's absolutely like...
longer imprisonment.
There's...
Now for your children, too, at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just carry on into the next generation.
Until it pops.
Huh?
Until it pops.
Oh, but the pop is more like a freaking nuclear explosion this time.
Yeah, $22 trillion now. That
just what is publicized, and then don't
right.
forget Austin Fitz, Catherine Austin Fitz just recently discovered probably more of the order of 43 trillion in secret printed.
Yeah.
24 trillion printed in secret.
Wow.
So in total, we're looking at 43 trillion. At least.
Yeah.
And that was printed. So now here's the crazy stuff. When she, a very serious very super nerdy financial investigative genius, going through all of the numbers of the military spending and unknown spending and the black projects, etc., essentially just leads us directly into space. I'm not going to say Space Force, but like the space-based economy, a whole black economy going on, hidden, behind the background, and that's what all this printing is for, to allow that to continue. It's very deep. It goes real deep, and that's getting way too deep right now.
It's so
that's going
crazy.
too many steps.
You can really go down this rabbit hole real quick.
So Catherine Austin Fitz, together with other university investigators and their students, have discovered we're really at least 43 trillion in debt, if not 50 trillion, and probably more like 100 trillion. So it's not 21 trillion of debt, and that's not even counting the
food stamps,
things like the stamps and the Social Security and all these kind of unfunded liabilities way into the future.
How would we keep the dollar value at what it's at, which is at 90? The dollar is worth like 95 cents if you're looking at the dollar index.
95 cents. Well, it's lost 95 cents of its value, is what you mean, right?
No, I mean it's standing at like $1 is worth 95 cents, and as opposed to that's what the dollar index at market.
Oh man, but
market watch is.
Let's put it this way. Since 1913, when the Federal Reserve first started, right? Federal Reserve, that same dollar is now worth less than 5% of its original $1 value. So it's now worth. I think actually it may have dropped below 4 cents. Of that spending value right now.
Yeah.
So that I thought you were referring to that.
Oh no,
whole issue.
No, that's why you're here, is to give us.
But that is like something of more importance, really, to think about. And how has that happened? That the spending value of the dollar has gone down to like so little, less than a 20th of what it was. How? This is what needs to be taught in schools.
Oh my God! Yeah, if they taught statistics
and I wonder why they don't.
School,
I wonder why they don't.
I've been wondering about that.
Well, they don't want to teach about real finances.
Oh yeah,
they don't even teach you how to balance a checkbook.
They did teach me how to balance a checkbook, but that was in 6th grade.
I mean. They don't tell you what is money.
I'm like, so I just deduct what I spent from my checkbook? That's
the whole of the schooling system is designed to dumb you down to become a consumer, and work in factories actually originally is what schools were designed for.
I believe it.
And we're still being taught in the same manner.
Oh, yeah.
You have to like raise your hand, excuse me, can I take a pee? Because it would disturb the whole factory line.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so they still train you in the same way. How ridiculous is that? And anyway, there's a beautiful 300-page, 400-page, I don't know how many pages, but book called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. You should check it out. It's a PDF version available online. You can probably...
We'll link the description in the box below. Give us a day or two. So, all right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's delve into our fishbowl of general questions.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you have
a fishbowl of controversial theories?
I don't, controversial theories. I don't think you can say controversial.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. I learned about it all the other day on what was it called? The Patriot Act. I learned about the Patriot Act.
You can't even say controversial. Okay, maybe you could say
Yeah, it has to be as PC as can be.
Fine then.
Right?
True theories. Disputed facts.
Disputed facts. There we go.
Full of disputed facts.
We're working about it. So pick something out.
That's so funny because I had an argument real recently with a friend of mine about. Oh no, we cannot speak about this, which just dropped out. This is amazing. This is what the whole argument was about. In fact, the argument was about this. I was forbidden to speak about this topic. And my argument back was that, well, if I'm forbidden to speak about this topic, that will stop my thought processes that have actually led to some really great thoughts that I'm really happy and proud about. So now, my thoughts are going to be controlled.
Your thoughts, your speech.
If this is not allowed. Beliefs. And that's censorship.
Yeah.
If it's, So,
hey, the fates...
Are you going to say this word?
Have decided.
You may be banned immediately.
I might get a strike for this.
Oh my God. I'm
Oh
going
my
to lose
God.
more friends now.
Well,
it's
the
one
fates-
of the most controversial
the
topics
fates-
ever. Help! I'm going to run away.
Should we run away from this, or should we just delve right in?
Let's do it. But you say it first, because I'm scared. You're the host.
Woo!
it.
I'm psyched.
It's
and
a four-letter
I hope
word.
you guys are psyched.
Everybody loves to love on
It
hate.
is a 4-letter
But first, let's take a
five-letter
cigarette
word.
break for you.
Cigarette break.
Because you need to calm down.
Oof.
Ready?
I'm
Okay, take a
ready. Okay, we're back. The 5-letter word here that's gonna just cause an outroar. The thing that so many people have questions about.
My hero.
The topic of all topics.
My hero. That's great. I'm glad we pulled
Trump.
this one. Trump. Okay.
Donald
T-R-U-M-P.
J. Trump. DJ
Man.
Trump. DJ Trump.
What a life! What a life! He's the president of the United States now. Holy crap! Trying to put the world right.
I believe he did it as a joke. The first time around, there's a Simpsons about it. But he did it as a joke. Like, everyone cut his funding, and so he's like, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna run for president now." So, do you have?
What did he run as a joke? Do I have some comments on that?
Anything
I don't know
and
if
everything.
he ran
that
as a
you've done.
joke. I think that so from what I can sort of gather from people who are talking about it as if they are insiders. Okay,
All right.
so and there are some really good commentators online. And that
Yeah.
Dr. David Janda, he's a really good one. And there's some young guys, who have really started just going really deep into this truth movement, who've been there sort of around for like a year or not very long at all, less than 2 years, okay? Who've started commentating, and they're like young guys whose names, Dustin Nemos, he's one of them, who I've given even to my children, like, okay, you should start like watching this guy's videos. He's a young guy people are listening to. He's cool, and they all really love Trump too. And they're all followers of the QAnon phenomena, as we were talking about earlier on. And if you follow that group of people and their comments and the anonymous boards where they're having all their discussions and they're trying to categorize all this information that's been dropped. They all believe that Trump is doing amazing work behind the scenes. A lot of it, the outcomes we haven't seen yet, like the arrests that we're all hoping for. of really
Everyone's
big people.
hoping for the arrests and the
imprisonment and the hangings, public hangings. Hopefully,
if things like that happen, then
then all will be forgiven.
Yes.
I think so.
But
now there is worry, and I'm starting to worry too. Like some of the people, some of the big arrests and the big public hangings that need to happen, and we're talking ex-presidents,
John McCain, George
have all are
H.W.
dying
Bush.
away. And next, maybe the Clintons might die natural deaths, quote unquote.
Quote unquote. We're using air quotes here.
Yeah.
No, there's a newscaster that said that he was put to death. John McCain.
Yeah,
John McCain was put to death.
Mm-hmm. I heard that. Let it slip out.
Yeah, Freudian slip.
Yeah.
And then there's those people that are saying that the wall that he's building is being built so that later it can be torn down, which, Jesus Christ. Fucking I think we're at $6 trillion of taxpayer money.
For what?
Ish. For the wall.
Oh. But we don't need any of it. We don't need that much.
Yeah, like...
We only need a few billion. It'll be built.
I've gone with the wall before, and, like...
The wall's going to be built.
Don't tell me immigration's okay. Because it's obviously not okay. It's not alright that we have unregistered people in our country. That's not all right. That's not how a country works.
Who are voting.
Sorry, PC people, but it's not how things happen in real life. So...
Or any other country.
Yeah, if you want to have a successful country, you're going to have to keep people out. I'm sorry. It didn't work out well for the Native Americans. You know? And if you're Native American, you hit that dislike button. Go ahead. I'm for you guys. Like, I'm right there with you. I understand. But this PC culture that we've developed isn't a culture that is thriving. It's a culture at arms with one another, and like the more you say, the less rights you have, you know?
The PC culture has developed, but it's also been shoved onto the whole country, you know, by design on purpose to weaken it.
It's pretty weak at the moment. Is that all we have to say about this guy?
No.
Okay.
There's more. Well,
we can add him back to the fishbowl later.
Yeah.
If need be.
Yeah. But, you know, so Trump himself has been used to completely and utterly divide the country, of course. You know, there was no real massive, widespread hatred of Trump until... Of course, he started running for president.
Yeah.
Then suddenly everybody hates him, including the people who formerly loved him.
Yeah.
And then, so that's one thing. Like, what is that?
He didn't rig the DNC.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Exactly.
The whole primary was like watching our rights get taken away. Some states like didn't even have a primary and just gave it to Ted Cruz. They're like, "Oh no, you've never had a primary before." Like, what the fuck? How does that work? How has our country worked like that? It's never done that. They've tried so hard to suppress this guy, and he still fucking won with the Electoral College. And now we have, I'm going to go on a tangent, now we have these socialists coming around, and I'm sorry, but there is a right way to do socialism, and there is a wrong way to do socialism. I've harped on this before, and we are working right on the wrong way to do socialism, because you can't just give people free fucking money and have a fucking state, or have an actual currency, right?
Of course. Where is it all going to come from? There's a good question.
It's just going to come right off the printing press. Off the printing press.
According to what's her name? The darling of the socialist movement now.
Alexandria Cortez, question mark?
Yeah. AC.
Okay, black people are fucking outraged that, okay, I can't go out and say black people are outraged. But Queens is outraged. Amazon would have gone to Queens and given these people like 25,000 jobs. And some of those jobs would have been $100,000 salary.
Wow.
Yeah, and she scoffs it off as a triumph to getting Amazon to not be in their state. She's 28 years old, man.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't
much
even know
anything.
how to
25%,
pay for her own rent.
25% of Democrats voted for her in the primary.
Oh, because she's got
the
energy.
non-voter group has become their own party.
Oh, I know, isn't that crazy?
Oh my god! And this is reality.
I know.
This is reality. Come on, man.
I know, they've got to keep their illegal voters coming through, otherwise they got no vote.
Oh my god. If you had fucking just been like, no, we're not gonna have more jobs in this country. We're not gonna have more jobs in this state. Sorry. No, we have $3 billion that we can spend for retail.
Hey.
retail, right?
Some people just don't want to work. They need some income too.
Oh yeah, give those people
the
some
ones who
income.
don't want to work.
Here's some free money.
They're not
This is me
injured.
passing out money.
They just this is just unwilling. The group that's unwilling.
It's a
to
fucking
work.
headache.
So
And
how do you give? Well, okay, just
people
give
are
it.
just like so on board for this girl, right?
I know.
And they're like they're posting the memes
With her
The
insane
meme-
eyes.
The meme,
She's like
crazy
insane.
eyes,
I know,
crazy eyes.
She is good. They all have crazy eyes. What's wrong with them?
The
It's like they're
memes
missing
of this
some
girl,
nutrients.
Alexandria Cortez,
I
are a
know.
fucking gold mine. And
They're hilarious.
I've had someone like post comment or like
I love
post these memes, and they're like, "This is not funny." And I'm like,
So
I
funny.
hit haha on Facebook, and I'm like, yes, they totally are, because
Funny,
fuck
funny,
you
yeah.
for being so goddamn pretentious. Like, be fucking serious. If you are serious, you are not pretentious. You are open to debate. You are available to compromise. All these things that fucking run our country.
What does she even say half the time? She says it, she's using some ridiculous language. It's like
She's like,
get to the point.
And so it takes her like at least 2 minutes to come up with an answer, and half of her words are like right?
I know.
Like, quit talking.
And
quit
we need to
using
like
that
get rid of
adjective.
all fossil fuels. Great thinking. Nice
Okay,
idea.
the Green Deal.
But that means like no airplanes,
No airplanes.
cars, no this,
airplanes.
Okay, how's that going to be practical?
Things that have
Well,
wrecked.
We don't need
Things
to worry
that have
about practical.
absolutely wrecked
Come on.
other countries like France, like Venezuela. You know,
Yeah, we can just do railways, super railways.
people don't talk about socialism in Canada, which I do need to research, and
the UK.
the UK. Socialistic healthcare, I think, is a good thing. I think we can take
Up to a certain point,
some,
yeah.
even
Now,
though,
this
okay,
place is
so
going totally
taxation
crazy.
is theft, right? So taxation will always be theft,
Yeah.
no matter what. All right, we take some of that money and we put it into a free healthcare plan or something, some subsidized plan.
Doesn't take
like
as much as they do right
welfare and food stamps and snow plows, right? And we build towards having free healthcare because people are sick, and I think that capitalism is totally sick in the way that it capitalizes off of sick people. You can't do that and have a good country. Like I said, I'm a totalitarian. And granted, there's a right way and a wrong way, and 9 times out of 10 it'll be done the wrong way. But I believe if the government has some say in what these people should do with the rest of their lives, as opposed to, oh, I'm going to be something ridiculous in college, and oh, wait, there's no job for me, so I'm going to be working at fucking Food Mart and paying $200,000 college tuition that I'll never be able to pay back within 40 years. That part should... Something about that should be commanded. Someone has to step in and take control of the situation, and obviously that should be our government, if done the right way. It won't be done the right way, but somewhere along the lines it could be done the right way. I have faith. All right, Doctor.
All right. Next one.
Pick another topic.
Let's pour out of the fishbowl.
Don't pick out the 5-letter word.
Woo-hoo. This one is, whoa, even better. Yay!
All right.
The best one of all.
I talked about this a little bit earlier.
Now we're going to have some fun.
Aliens.
Aliens? But they're not real. Aliens are not real, are they?
All
You know
right.
what? We already talked about JFK, right? JFK getting...
Yes,
shot.
he was going to unveil
What?
that we had made contact with aliens.
What?
How crazy is that?
What a crazy thought. You mean he was shot because the
he
The
was
grey
gonna-
alien top secret was even more top secret than
Skull and Bones.
Then there was even higher top secret than the nuclear secret. Wow.
Yeah.
Apparently,
And
it was.
aliens could also be fallen beings, the fallen ones,
That's
angels, spirits. Because if you were going to come back and communicate with modern day, and you wanted to express God, you'd come back as aliens.
Certainly would. And you'd certainly take the Book of Enoch.
Oh,
Out of
Book
the Bible.
Enoch.
But
Oh
that's
my
going
God!
a bit
Rip that
too deep.
straight out.
Woohoo.
Throw it
Well,
around.
hey, let's do that in another goldfish session.
Yeah.
Because that one is going to go deep.
Table that Book of Enoch.
Put that one in there. That's a good.
I don't think I have that in there actually.
Well, we're going to have it now.
Yeah, that I've seen those conversations just go on for hours, and
That could lead to the whole Antarctica question. and what's
question
going on.
mark,
going
flat
on
Earth
there?
question mark,
Don't get
365 day calendar, 364 day calendar,
Yeah,
New Year's in March with the blood moon.
of course.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it's all pagan. It's almost as if it's all following the seasons.
Ugh.
Who would have thunk it?
How fucking crazy. I don't know about you.
Aliens. Let's go. What do you want to know?
Okay,
As
so
if I know. But boy, I have a lot of
I've-
thoughts.
I've had experiences with
Whoa,
aliens.
tell me.
Oh yeah.
Tell
So
me.
the
Wow.
craziest, I've always been an aliens UFO watcher since I was in like 4th grade specifically.
Yeah.
That's how long this has been going on with me.
Whoa.
Occasionally, while I'm at my parents' house, I've woken up and I've like early in the morning, I've seen like figures, very see-through figures, right?
Wow. Inside your like bedroom, where
Inside my bedroom,
Okay.
but like very see-through figures as the gray aliens, right?
Inside the bedroom.
Inside
Okay,
the bedroom,
got
like
it.
around my bed.
Grays, typical grays that we've
Yes.
always associated.
Yes.
Height-wise, what?
3 and a
Okay.
half feet
Okay.
to 4 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, very small arms.
Does the bed have bed posts?
Yeah, my bed has bronze bedposts.
Interesting.
The weirdest thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the most vivid one I've ever had, I was house sitting in a suburb, and I woke up and I see this light in the corner of the window, and it goes shoop straight up in the air. And like before that, like I'd seen these they're like see-through white almost, because your mind can only comprehend so much, right? Right.
I see.
So they disappear, and this light goes shoop straight in, and I thought it was a street light at the time.
Oh.
It was very bright.
How big, sort of thing?
It was like
Tiny.
It was it was at a distance,
Okay.
right? And I see it, and I'm like waking up, and I shouldn't, like, I'm a very solid sleeper. In this house, like, I've had waking dreams of where I like wake up and go to the restroom and like pour
Right.
some water, drink some water, and come back, like multiple times. And I think this dog that I was watching is part of it, because it looks like an alien itself. It is real. But yeah, I've had experiences with specifically just as starting out, waking up, like alien abductions. Like I believe that I was
What, you've been abducted,
part
you
of
think?
the alien abduction, and it could have been self-fulfilling prophecy. Could have been multitude of things. But seeing gray aliens, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So they had the eyes, black eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Were the eyes open or just black, plain
Open.
black?
Open
Everywhere.
and...
Did they blink?
Seeds, no.
And seeds?
Like,
almonds shaped?
almond-shaped, yeah.
Almond
Black
shaped.
almonds.
Black
Yep.
almonds. Whoa.
Yep.
And what about their mouths? Were they tiny? Slitty
yeah.
Noses or no noses?
They were the typical slit.
Whoa.
I couldn't see their noses.
Oh, right.
They were very washed out. From what I could see, and it
what
was
about the
one
eyes?
Of those
if they
things
were
where
washed out, were the eyes
see...
still visible though?
Yeah. You could still see through them. The grays, you could still see through them, but like, I want to say 4 or 5 in the room at a time. And what they were
short
up to.
arms, right? Short arms,
yeah.
you said.
Yeah. They like I couldn't even see like their hands. That was part of it. Very stereotypical gray things, and whether or not that was impressed upon me, but that's the only time where I've been like waking up and like seeing these figures, and you could see through them.
Whoa.
You could see through them.
Okay.
But that it's enough to freak you out a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I bet. Now, how about you? Could you move? Sometimes when you have those waking experiences, you actually have, you're sort of
paralysis.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Out of body.
Sometimes
OBO.
I've been in paralysis.
Out of body experience. OBE. Yeah.
I haven't had an out of. Well,
I've had that a few times myself.
Not
you feel
with
that vibration?
situation.
You ever feel that vibration, the whole body vibration? I've had that before. That's along the lines of an out of body experience.
No.
Apparently, that's what they say.
It's been like a wake up and like, whoa, fuck, okay, and like go nod back off into sleep.
Really?
It's been it's like a glimpse, but yeah.
Interesting.
What about you?
Now, I haven't had any alien experiences. I wish I had. I kind of wish I have.
Well,
but maybe it's not a good thing. I don't know.
Later on, I've learned that like these aren't actual aliens. They're
right. They're genetically modified.
Fallen ones. They're the fallen spirit ones, which we could go into. Nancy Pelosi quoted me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I was talking to the smoking man, someone goes by an alias.
Okay. Okay.
And I said, "Here's a quote, or here's a date." And later on Valentine's Day, on the anniversary of the Parkland shooting,
okay.
She says, "Here's a national emergency," and I'm like, "Really, Nancy Pelosi? Tell me more." So I've had these things. We'll call them cosmic echoes, where I think one thing and magically it appears in the news.
Oh,
right?
I see.
So I believe that some entities could be. I don't write anymore. I don't write a lot of conspiracy theories down. That's why I have the fishbowl. So because
how tall are the bedposts? Brass.
They would have been 5 feet. They were about 4 feet.
Did they have like a brass knob on top or round
Oh yeah,
one?
yeah.
All right, got it.
Yeah, very stereotypical. They were from my grandmother.
That's cool. I wonder why I thought of brass knobs when I thought of the aliens in the room. For some reason in my mind, I just thought they should be there.
Very stereotypical. Yeah.
And it's a good way to like gauge the height for me in a drawing. There you go.
That's actually spot on. He's drawing a picture for us. He's drawing our profile
conversation
picture
kind of thing almost. Yeah. Sketching away and we'll get something.
We'll get something out of this. Do you want to go on to another one? We've barely scratched the surface.
Well, so in terms of, we haven't said much about aliens, but okay, let's talk about aliens.
I mean, the scratch.
Q was actually asked, "Hey, what about aliens? Are we alone in the universe and everything?" And Q actually came back with a response and said, "Negative. Think about the vastness of space." And that was the only answer. But that caused an uproar.
The closest nebula is 35 trillion light years away.
Trillion?
Yeah. So they would have to have this fucking technology.
Yeah, of course.
So
we have to be quote unquote faster than light travel. Have to have that, right?
Have to have a portal of
or
kind.
Well, some way of warping space, basically. Yeah.
These chariots of fire, I believe that more and more as I grow older, I believe that obviously, yes, they have this technology, but it is part of the Bible.
I believe it too. And in fact, human beings, not all human beings, just a tiny little select few, already have that technology.
That was it for the aliens. For now, we'll add it back into the fishbowl later.
Aliens are real.
If you want to see Dr. Deep Blue Thoughts and my conversation with him totally live, we're just spilling out information to one another. It's fantastic. Hit a like. If we get we'll say 10 likes. We'll just do it recording straight up, 100%, uncut, unedited. It's really absolutely phenomenal to have you on. I'm glad to have someone else here.
Thank you.
With me.
This is fun.
All right, so we got 20 more
Anytime.
minutes. We got 20 more minutes. You said you'd do an hour. We can go over a little bit, but here, pick out another one.
Okay.
Pick out another one.
Next topic of discussion. Yes, well, the closer you are, the worse it is.
The closer you are, the worse it is.
I can think of a few things related to that, but
Fate,
please elaborate.
Fate has decided. All right, so the closer you are to the truth, the worse that they are going to come after you with EMF rays, with fucking spiritual warfare, with fucking aliens and shit.
That's a whole level,
They're going to fucking fry you if you get closer to them.
Yes.
So for me, I am a proud sponsor of the tinfoil hat while I'm doing this.
Yeah, right.
All right, people will come after tinfoil hats wholeheartedly. Oh, you're crazy. Motherfucker, there's Wi-Fi, there's 5G, there's microwaves, there's satellites, there's all this other shit that they can pinpoint you from fucking look at Google Maps. Google Map your address. They'll just be like, right there, there's your house, there's where you're living. So that's why I use the tinfoil hats. They've fucking come after me pretty hard. I've talked about that in my last episode. In the episodes before that. What about you? What about you?
I've actually felt it.
Yeah, it's pretty, people think you're crazy and everything, and you'll think you're fucking crazy.
Yes, I did think I was crazy for some period of time. But now I know 100%,
You gotta wade through it. And that just means that you're closer to the truth.
It's been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought to myself, I am, there's a word, electrosensitive.
Yeah.
I didn't know what. So there's a word, and apparently Tesla was electrosensitive too. So if you spend a lot of time around this kind of stuff, electromagnetic waves, you become eventually electrosensitive. So it's almost like, so the way I can describe it is just real simple. When I'm on the phone with one of these phones, smartphones, but even when it was just a flip phone, before we got to these flat screen touch sensitive phones.
I didn't want. But
when
we
it was
got anyway.
Yeah, when it was the flip phone version, even then, when I was driving along, trying to make on a phone call, holding that phone, and even when it was on voice, whatever it is, right? Speakerphone. It would sometimes be so painful for me to hold that phone in my hand. I would feel like a burning sensation at a tiny little point somewhere in my hand. Sometimes I would have to throw that phone down. I couldn't deal with it.
Oh, wow.
It was so painful. So then later on, and then I would tell people, no one would know what I was talking about. Later on, it would turn out to be, okay, maybe I'm electrosensitive. And it's the fact that when you go between one antenna to another, and the phone is looking for the next place to get the signal, and right? It boosts its amplitude of its microwaves by like 10 times.
Yeah.
So you feel it more.
And it'll, because your body is 80% to 90% water, it will go through you to boost the signal.
Well, I don't know if it... Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what's in the way. It's going to try and find the next antenna, right?
Right.
What it does is boost the signal about 10 times the amount of power, microwave power, sent out isotropically, which means in all directions equally.
Yeah.
Through anything. Doesn't matter if you're in the way or the car is in the way, the body of the car, the metal car is in the way, or some things will be very easy for it to penetrate through without interacting, and some things it will have small little interactions. Now, the frequencies that are used by this kind of communications methods are similar in some respects to the frequencies that are used by communicating cells. Especially once you start getting to 5G. Now, there's going to be a massive problem. It will interfere with so many cellular processes with those frequencies, but also through resonance with certain types of bonds. You will have resonance with bonds to the point where those bonds will break. So even though it might not be ionizing radiation, where each little packet of energy is the right frequency, is the right amount of energy to break down bonds between ionic bonds, basically, molecular bonds.
Yeah.
Even though it might not be that type of radiation, it's still a type of radiation through resonance with certain types of molecular structures, even,
Yeah,
at that level, it can resonate with them, just like resonating with a bridge at the right frequency of the wind will break down the whole bridge.
Yeah, I heard that 5G is the equivalent of standing in front of a microwave with the door open. Like they're shooting the waves and it's going straight at you. Therefore, it's frying everything, your genetic makeup, the whole 9 yards.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So you're standing there. So one of the issues with the frequencies that are going to be used is that they don't penetrate as much through buildings and trees and shrubbery,
even though everything around them is dying.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that with my own eyes. Yeah.
Right. Well, one of the things is that since they don't penetrate through bushes and things like 4G does, because of the new frequencies that are going to be used, well, now they're just going to have to put way, way, way higher concentration of towers everywhere.
Yeah, so they're going to have to put them right next to each other almost.
And, of course, that means, right outside your bedroom window where you're sleeping.
Yeah. Sorry, you don't
shouldn't cause any problems whatsoever.
It won't cause any problems.
Nah.
No.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be
We're
supposed to be a really sarcastic show, I forgot. Oh, yeah, so let's get into sarcasm mode. Oh, yeah. So it won't cause any problems. We'll just disguise them as cacti so you won't worry about it in the desert. We'll just put them in the church steeple so you don't worry about it when you're in church. We'll just hide it in the trees to make it look like trees. So you won't worry about it, your children in the playground. And that's actually what they're going to do.
Yeah,
they're actually doing it right now.
Yeah,
and right outside your bedroom. But don't worry, don't worry. We can actually, the whole problem of putting this microwave out isotropically. So you have to put out 10 times the amount of power in all directions just to find the next tower. That's a massive waste of energy. Wait a minute. We can now use this very sophisticated physics engineering technique called phased array. So we can do phased array electromagnetic waves, so that now when you're on a phone call in your car, we just shoot directly the electromagnetic microwave frequency radiation. That's the exact same frequency as the cells that are in your body, by the way, for some functions. Not all of them, don't worry. Just a few here and there that they function at and they communicate at. Now, because of this phased array technology, we can just keep following your one little car. You keep driving to the next one. Don't worry. Your phone won't have to blast out 10 times the amount of radiation in all directions just to find the next tower. Because don't worry, the next tower can pinpoint you wherever you may roam.
Yeah.
And nothing bad could come of that whatsoever, could it?
Oh, no.
Possibly?
No.
I mean, it's not as if we saw cars in California where the cars were trying to get away from these fires and they were just like, oh, that one car alone has been just exploded in flames. But meanwhile, everything around it is just perfectly fine. It's not as if we saw any of that stuff going on, was it?
Fucking crazy.
No. Or am I just getting too sarcastic now?
No, by all means, sarcasm is a good way of communication.
It was just a flesh wound.
Form.
It was just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
When on
it's
that
crazy
video.
how a lot of these things are Monty Python related. I think we've gone through at least 3 of them.
I know. The video that I saw where this guy was looking for his buddy after one of the California fires, where they do actually have 5G.
Yeah.
Where they do actually have the phased array technology, where they can actually follow individual cars, where the buddy was going down to find his pal, old buddy, old pal, where are you? Oh, there you are. Don't worry, it's just a flesh wound, even though your bones are practically incinerated and your teeth can't even be seen anymore. And
shit.
the whole cushions of the cars are gone, the springs are gone, the springs have melted. The engine block has melted. The tires have gone, vaporized. The things have gone. Old buddy, old pal of mine. It was fun having a barbecue with you yesterday, old neighbor.
Now we are the barbecue.
Yep, there's your car. That's you, all right. Wow, it doesn't even. It's like something out of a Terminator movie.
Oh my God, we are pretty close to D-Day.
Talking of which, something out of a Terminator movie.
Yeah. Terminator, AI. We have about 10 minutes left.
Yeah. Let's see what we get next. You want to do another topic?
Yeah, of course I want to do another.
This is great. Let's do the fishbowl.
If you have more...
One day, if we get more than
drop it
10
down.
viewers, we may even do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
One day, we may get 100, and then we'll do a live video. And then you'll be scared.
Oh, no. I'm not showing my face. Are you kidding me?
Mainstream media.
Mainstream media.
The biggest enemy of America.
The greatest only source for news.
Wow. Well, shall we just call it what it is, which is Nazi propaganda.
By a different name. Program. Incredible. I actually saw earlier that the Catholic schoolboys are actually suing for defamation, which is suing for libel, basically. Like, you lose your news license, which means CNN, TMZ, BuzzFeed. Correct me if I'm wrong, those BuzzFeed. 4 people that are out there listening.
By next week, it shall be 5.
Oh, it shall be 5 next week.
That's 20% increase, dude.
Yo, I'll take it.
Yeah, in 1 week. Keep doing that every week, and you're doing great.
I am, man. I'm pushing it out there. Collecting.
This is good stuff, man.
I suppress it. I suppress it myself with the titles.
Can never be suppressed indefinitely. Not
you
forever.
can never stop the signal.
The truth is there, man. The truth is there for the finding, for the searching. The truth is out there, and you can they can suppress it, hide it.
Information wants to be
get rid of it, destroy it. Even they've destroyed so many truths.
Oh my God!
But
Which
we're gonna get.
I don't leave a works cited page. Those who are still tuning in at the 53-minute mark.
One day we're gonna get more truth than we can freaking handle, and
God.
And it'll be like you've gone in terms of just truth and information and swallowing it all down. It'll be as if you have gone one fire hydrant too far.
Yeah.
It's already a fire hydrant. Every day, if you really want to if you're thirsty for the truth, boy, you can really fill yourself up.
Stay tuned to my boy Deep Blue Thought, who will be out there posting videos soon enough. Eventually, I'll twist his arm enough to get him out there. Those truth seekers that have stumbled by this channel, drop a thumbs up or a comment or drop me an email. My email is fucking encrypted, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's an encrypted email.
Are you giving it out?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's out there. Motherbunker at protonmail.com.
Proton.
Yeah, how crazy is that? You can use a VPN through them. You can get a free 3-country VPN.
I played with protons for a year. It was
That is a topic
painful.
for
It was
another
painful.
thing. Oh my god, that's where like they take the microscope and like scoop things out. Is that it?
Well, what we did was just like create a gigantic, massive electric field across hydrogen gas so that the electrons were stripped away from the nucleus,
Okay.
which is in this case just hydrogen gas. So now you have ionized and charged
The lightest
Hydrogen.
and most flammable.
nucleus, which is just, because there's no neutrons there, there's just protons. It's just a one.
I trust them. I do anything that's encrypted, anything that's a free VPN. I trust them. Mainstream
Great.
media, if you're still out there and having faith
At
in mainstream
proton what?
mail.com.
Mail.
Yeah.
One word?
Uh,
I like that.
Motherbunker is one word.
That's you, yeah.
At Proton Mail.
Proton Mail. Okay, good.
Yeah, Proton Mail.
That's
Gmail.
crazy. I wish I'd have known about that when I worked at the Proton Center in
I
Houston.
fucking stumbled upon it,
Proton
to be
Mail.
honest with
Okay,
you.
cool.
I love how we're not really touching the mainstream media narrative.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
You know, I don't.
They're a bunch of lying sons of
I
bitches.
used-
They are like Nazi
I used
propagandists.
to be like
Okay.
CNN or die.
So did I. So did
Fox
I.
News
And BBC.
was bullshit. MSNBC.
Me too.
Any like those were the sources.
I thought CNN
man.
was the absolute thing. So
Be
did I.
all,
And I
do
thought
all.
CNN, you know, every single day I used to read CNN and BBC.
until the primaries. And I saw these people like suppressing.
I think that's when things really,
Oh,
really
Hold on.
got to me too, yeah. And now there's just been like, wow. Now
Sorry, we
even
had a
even
glitch there.
now even during 9/11, there was some very sort of obvious BBC lies.
Oh,
For example, the WT7 has just fallen down. Like they said that like 8 minutes before it actually fell down, and then it fell down behind them.
oh my god.
8 minutes later. Now that's from the BBC. So that was something like, what? Does the BBC actually lie? That was so shocking at the time to even think of such a thing. And then it's like, a few years later it became apparent, oh, the BBC was part of the lies. And now it's like, oh my God, the lies are written at the BBC to be distributed to the rest of the world.
They're fucking reading their teleprompter.
At 4 a.m. Okay, now
Fucking
here's what you read
journalism is
today
dead.
in America.
Yes.
Here's what you read today in China.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Of course,
Holy
it all goes
shit.
back to London, bloody Queen, cannibal Queen. Now she's eating one more spleen. Sorry, I didn't really write that song, but I
Oh
will.
my god.
I'm gonna.
Oh, it's 2 minutes left, and we're
And
talking
the
about
heart
fucking
it
9/11.
And the heart beats its last one. Now it's time for that bun. Cheers to that.
Oh,
Cannibal
cheers.
Queen.
Cheers.
It all goes back to London at the end of the day, anyway.
Yeah.
The greatest controversial news, shall we call it?
Oh, yeah, it's suppressed. We've
Mm-hmm.
harped on it
Yeah.
enough times in all these 2-hour feeds that are in parts. Guys, if you're not at least listening in to like 15 minutes of this stuff, like,
Yeah,
a day.
You're lost. I'm sorry.
You're lost. I mean, this is
Unfortunately.
the darkest corner of the internet in the good way.
That's
in a
true.
good way. If you want fucking images and shit, subscribe, like, dislike, comment. I don't give a shit.
Hand done.
Handwrite us some letters, NSA.
That's true. Why not?
Oh, yeah, by the way, the only ones actually listening right now are the NSA. Jack and Steve. What up, Jack and Steve? Nancy Pelosi, peace out till next week.
Chuck and Nancy show is
Chuck and Nancy.
one of the funniest shows on TV.
Alright, guys. We're wrapping it up here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment, email me, do whatever for me. Don't kill people. Love each other. Drink beer. And laugh.
When we go one, we go all.
We go one, we go all. Peace.